So, how long have you lived in Aurora?
77 years.
Yes, and you said you have some family history in Aurora. They came in 1881.
Right. My mother and my father came to Aurora in 1881. And so now there are 5 generations of my family living in Aurora.
That's very nice. Do you have any memorable experiences teaching in Aurora?
There are so many over 35 years that it's hard to pick anyone out. I don't think I have any real memorable ones. I really enjoyed teaching in Aurora. I taught at George Street and Wells Street, and then eventually ended up as principal at Aurora Senior. I liked them all. They were really good.
Really good. How about being principal? Did you enjoy that? How was that?
Oh, I enjoyed that. Oh, it's nice being a boss, Yeah, I enjoyed that very much. The staff were good and the kids were great.
How were you involved with the Aurora United Church?
Well, I was baptized in Aurora United Church 76 years ago. And that's the only church I've ever belonged to as a member. So I was baptized there and confirmed there. And my wife Margaret and I were married there. We had 4 daughters, all baptized there. 3 of them were married there. And we've had 2 grandchildren baptized there.
So I've heard you're involved in the hockey in Aurora. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, I could go back a long, long time on the hockey. Yes, I played minor hockey in Aurora. That's a long time ago. And the team was Ernie Allman's Esso All-Stars. And Ernie Allman owned Imperial Esso Station on Yonge Street, and he sponsored the team. So we played there. Our away games were all down in Icelandia in Toronto. It wasn't much of a rink. It had square corners, so you didn't get a chance to hit too many people in the corner. And then I came back later and played old-timers hockey in Aurora for a number of years. And quit when I was 65.
Oh, that's a very long time.
A long career, right?
So you coached girls softball. How was that?
Well, that was really good. It was there was a time when girls softball was a really big thing in Aurora, and so I coached that for 12 years. And the reason for that is not that I was that keen on softball, but I had 4 daughters who moved through, and so I coached all of them. So it was a long time.
Yeah. So you said you married an Aurora girl. How did you guys meet?
Well, we got to go back to Aurora United Church. Margaret and I were members of the Aurora Mission Band, or United Church Mission Band, which was for little wee guys, and that was before school started. So we met there. Not that I remember that. And then we went to grade 1 together, and we were in school all the way up until we left high school. Well, then we ended up going to Teachers College the same year, too. That's the year that did me in.
So how was it like to raise a family in Aurora?
Well, it was really good. It's a very secure town. And nobody had the concerns that we have today. So that was one thing. You knew your neighbors really, really well. And who was it said that it takes a village to raise a child? Clinton, I guess. And everybody did that. Everybody on the street took responsibility for everyone else's children. So that was one thing. And there were lots of activities in town that the girls went to, and schools were closed. So, and there wasn't traffic. You get to anywhere in any time. So it was good. It was good.
You grew up in Aurora, so
That's
how
right.
was your experience growing up here different from your kids' experience?
Much smaller town. That's the first thing. One school, and everybody went to that school, so you knew everybody in town. And so there was no rivalry. You know, we had the rivalry from one side of Yonge Street to the other side of Yonge Street, but there were no divisions in town. We were sort of all together. And then that group all went off to high school. There's only one high school together. So that was the first thing. It was, I think, an easier place to grow up. School was a lot more fun then. I really enjoyed school. I think I enjoyed high school more than my daughters did. And I think high school in the 50s was more fun than it is today. But it really was a good time to go to high school. So that was a big advantage. It was a simpler time. And there are a whole lot of things resolved in that. Like I remember Saturday, the only thing in Saturday, you had on a Saturday night you had a choice to go to the old Royal Theatre on Center Street to a movie. And in the wintertime you went skating, and the arena at that time was down on Yonge Street. And the town band played, so it was great. And everybody pretty well went there. And again, you knew everybody. Boy, after that, I don't know. That's pretty well. It's those are the things. It's just that it was an easier time, a simpler time. And as the town grew, I think it became more complicated in a lot of ways for teens than it was at my time.
So, what are some of the most memorable moments you experienced while you were in Aurora?
One of well, I can't say just moment. I would say I like the term moments. I would say the fires. I remember when Baldwin's Mill burned. That was the end of milling in Aurora. Davis Drive on Yonge Street, or Davis Garage, sorry, on Yonge Street burned down. And then we had that big Thompson fire, and that changed Yonge Street. The Aurora Arena burned down, and that meant then when they rebuilt, they went to the north end, and we had the big community center. And then the recent one of the United Church burning. Those were all big events, you know. And they had to change. They changed the town in different ways when that happened. Other events in Aurora, the horse show. Just have a bang-up horse show in the town park, and the whole town was geared for that. And that was really an exciting time. Had a midway, and I was a Boy Scout, so the Scouts used to set the barrier bars back up when the horses knocked them off. After that, there was there are a lot of things happening in a town, and you just sort of grow with them as you go along, as they occur. Every year we had a Halloween parade from the school. The high school band would play down ahead of the parade, and we'd walk down Moseley and up Yonge Street to Wellington. And the sidewalks would be crowded with people to watch all these kids from the school in costumes, So those were the kind of things that you just grew up with. To think of main events. Maybe I just was immune to main events or forgotten them.
Well, have I missed anything that you would like to share? Or
school was important because it was the center of pretty well all my activities. That and the church, so they were both important to me. And sort of got direction from that, but Hurricane Hazel, that was a big deal. And we collected clothes. And I remember taking them up to Bradford, so that people up there would have. I don't have any idea what they ever did with them, but I think it made everybody in Aurora feel good to donate this truckload of clothes. And on the Friday night, a friend and I helped pull cars out of the water that collected on Gurnett Street. And these cars were underwater, all but the roof. So we cables or chains on them, and people pulled them out. That was kind of exciting for a kid, you know. No, I don't think I have anything else.
Oh, well, other stories, just little fun, small
Well,
bits.
you know, there's some things have changed so dramatically. Having taught at what is now, or was Wells Street, and it's closed now, every fall, the men who work for the town would come over and rake the leaves. You know, there are a lot of maple trees, and they burn them. They burn them in the town park. You wouldn't be able to see across the park. And we wouldn't do that today. Like, you just would not do that today. And yet that was an annual event. And I still miss the smell of those burning leaves. So that was a big event in terms of the change, you know, that's happened. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for coming out and sharing your stories. We really appreciate it.
Good. I've enjoyed it very much. Thank you.